So during Summer Game Fest, we had a ton of fun, and one of the games that really stuck with me that my son actually was like, Dad, you have to check this out, was Messhof's new action roguelike shooter, or auto shooter, Blood Dungeon, which is coming later this summer. Messhof has always done some really amazing games, and my son is like a super fanatic about Nidhogg. It's one of his favorite games, Nidhogg 1 and Nidhogg 2. He really likes the classic Nidhogg over Nidhogg 2. But I wanted to read this from Mark Essen, who is the creator of the games themselves and one of the co-creators of the studio. He says, I like to sketch ideas in Game Maker once in a while and to get them out of my head. While it's been a while since I've done the art for a Messhof project, I still enjoy working in 2D for fun side projects. The game started as a little weekend project that I shared with friends and lent itself to being something I could scratch at over years as a way to wind down at night. My God, I'm horrible at reading. The lack of pressure and small window at the time that defined 90% of the development kept it fun and drove a lot of the design decisions. I had a little $50 tablet with a screen, and I did a lot of the animation in the car if I had to wait around for something or other. So like, that's literally where this game came from. In his downtime, while he was like late at night just chilling, he used a $50 tablet to sketch this different crazy wacky stuff, and Blood Dungeon was of course born. So Blood Dungeon is a self-published title from the Messhof studio, and as I said, it is an auto shooter. So with that being said, that means as you're running and gunning or going whatever, it will automatically shoot, but it is your main goal to survive in this dungeon as long as you possibly can. There's a total of 9 unlockable playable characters with different traits and weapons, 6 unlockable unique survival areas, over 100 enemy types, over 100 quests to complete, over 100 unlockable weapons and upgrades, and a dynamic dungeon D&B soundtrack by Thomas Hue. So Messhof, as I said, they did some really amazing work on this game, and we got to do hands-on with it at Summer Games Fest recently, and I've got to say it was a really wild and crazy ride. From start to finish, I really enjoyed my time. The unlockable characters, I will say, for anybody out there that is thinking about playing some of these games with their kids, there is a streamer mode on this game, but there are 2 characters that are basically in the nude, and if you turn on streamer mode, it will cover that up. But it is a really fanatical auto-run roguelike game that literally just pins you against a bunch of different creatures that you have to take out. And these creatures range from, weird goat people to witches to spiders to all kinds of stuff. But your characters that you can play as range from some weird man-child to a gun baby to you could literally be a mosquito in the game and try your best to survive in this. So this is coming to PC and consoles. It is only 1 player, but the date is not as of yet locked in of when it's coming out, but we do know it's coming out later in 2026, and you can download this demo now on Steam. I definitely suggest you check it out. It is one of the wildest and craziest type of games like this that I've played before, and it was one of the most interactive and fast-paced games that I played while at Summer Game Fest. The art style is really weird and unique. As I said, the creator of the game literally initially drew this art and sketched the ideas for this game on a $50 tablet in his downtime. So all the ideas that he was getting in his head, he was like, this is the best way I could really get them out, by drawing them ahead of time and just kind of, sketching things out. And he said too that it had been a while, since he had really done that type of development process, and he's kind of taken that back seat of being more the big boss. But the game is really, really unique. As you play the game, you collect blood, gold, bones, and whatever. And whenever you're collecting that, it upgrades your character. And once you upgrade your character, it'll kind of go through this like roller scheme of like giving you the option to be able to choose your weapon upgrade or choose what you want to go forward with. I suggest that you definitely just do it as random as you possibly can. I mean, you can have strategy. Your main strategy is to get away from these enemies as long as you can to survive this dungeon. And as I said, as you play the game, there are 9 different unlockable survival areas, but each one of those characters are going to have their own different types of traits. So I can't remember the main trait skill that the characters had, but I know that I did play as a baby at one point in time, and I did notice that your jumping scheme or your jumping style as that baby was not even close to something like the gunman, or I don't even know. There was one character that was literally a woman that was in the nude that ran around by like doing cartwheels. It was the weirdest and wildest gameplay, which you should be seeing now as well. But it was definitely one that I had to mention. I mean, because as I said, my 7-year-old son was a huge fan of Nidhogg, and this chaotic, fast-paced gameplay is definitely a game that will keep him, I guess, entertained for quite some time. But as I said, the music in the game was very intense. The gameplay was very fast-paced. I did like the fact that it was an auto shooter, because you could mainly focus on trying to build some type of strategy of getting around all these different crazy monsters that you're facing off against. Because as you go further and further into the survival levels, it really gets intensified. There's, the worm from the Nidhogg game is technically in there. It's like a different version of it, but there's also some type of like, skeleton snake worm that chases after you. There's these mythological goat men, witches, bugs. I mean, it's really crazy, man. So I definitely think you guys need to check it out. It is by far something that has stuck with me since I saw it. I don't know if it was like a PTSD that kind of happened in my brain, but I feel like it's a good PTSD. It's something that, even though if some of the imagery might give me some type of nightmares, I'm like, I've got to kill these monsters as soon as I can. But big shout outs to Messhof for giving us the opportunity of checking this game out. I know this is kind of a quick hit video, but I wanted to give huge shout outs to the team. We're very excited to play it and review it. You can check it all out at Cinelinx.com, and check back soon for another hands-on impression from Summer Game Fest. Peace out.